to receive do. Ashe. And we could talk about that later. That's a topic to talk about. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate it. I love origami. Greetings, beside. How are you? So we talked about Ba. Just a quick review. Ba is the heart and soul that dwells in the Ka with the power of metamorphosis. This is described as your higher self, your Ba. We're talking about the 9 parts of the self. Okay, greetings. Through the mind, the Ba, which is your soul consciousness, projects and keeps together a physical body. So your Ba is your higher self, okay? Your Ka is your ego, your concept of self. It's an ethereal body possessing the power of locomotion, and it survives the transition of the body. So you have your Ba, your higher self, and then you have your Ka, which involves your self-concept, the way that you see yourself. In other words, your ego identity as a human. And y'all know that ego is not a bad thing. This is God-given. However, the ego is not here to lead us. The ego is here to take direction from the Ba and project it outward and find out how to accomplish it. Okay. Then we said the Ka was the physical Khat, Khat is the physical body. And then we did a nice long study on the Ab, the AB, which is your conscience, which is weighed by oneself according to the laws of Ma'at. And so you have internal structures that judge you, so you don't really have to worry about the people outside judging you. Then we have the Kabit, which is located in the Ba. So you have the Ba, which is located in the Ka, right? And so you have the Kabit located in the Ba, and that's where it receives its nourishment and has the power of locomotion and omnipresence. You have a part of yourself called the Kabit or the Kabit, which is omnipresent. Okay, and that's residing inside the Ba, if you will, which is your higher self. Hey, Kim, happy birthday. Y'all say happy birthday to Kim. It's Kim's birthday. We're just reviewing the parts of the self. So you have the Ba, which is located in the Ka, okay? If this is the Ka, then the Ba sits here. And then the Kabit sits in the Ba. You're welcome. Many, many beautiful moments today for you, Kim. Many beautiful moments, much love, many opportunities, grace and favor just really washed all over you and be so beautifully experienced. Ashe. I love Kim. Okay. So we have the Ba, going back. The Ba is in the Ka, and then we have the Khat, which is the physical body, and then we have the Kabit, which is inside of the Ba. That's the part of you that is omnipresent. Okay. So next, we talked about the Ab, that's the conscience, and that was a really good teaching. It was so nourishing. So if you have not heard it, go to YouTube. I have a Kemetic Study playlist. You can see it there. So now let's move on to the 7th part of the self called the Sahu. And this one to me gets very interesting. Okay. And why are we studying the parts of the self? Because know thyself is the key to all ancient spiritual practices. Know thyself is the key to beautiful relationships and beautiful experiences here. And anyone who does not know that themselves are operating in a subconscious pattern and more than likely feeling powerless, right? So that's why we would want to study this. Hey, Marquise. The Sahu, S-A-H-U. The glorious spiritual body in which the Ku, K-H-U, and the Ba dwells. When integrated or enlightened, the spiritual and mental attributes of the natural body are united to the new powers of its own nature. I like this one. So I'm going to read it again. Did y'all hear that? Can y'all tap the screen? So it's saying that some comments in this live are being filtered. So if you just made a comment, I can't read it. Did that just come through? Did y'all hear that clearly? Tap the screen if so. So the Sahu, the glorious spiritual body in which the Khu, Khu, and Ba dwells. We haven't talked about the Khu yet, but the Ba is the higher self. Okay, so this is the glorious, the light body. When it's integrated or enlightened, the spiritual and mental attributes of the natural body are united to the new powers of its own nature. The Sahu is the goal of all aspiration. It is the reason for human existence. I think that's important. Do you not think so? It is the reason for human existence to become godlike while we are still alive. When this part of yourself, your glorious body, is enlightened, your natural body begins to unite with its natural power. Okay, and I believe these natural powers have a lot to do with what Jesus walked the earth and was said to have done: raising the dead, healing, causing people to see, prophecy, and all manner of things. Okay. So then we are moving on to 8, the Sekhem, Sekhem, Sekhem. It says power, spiritual personification of the vital life force in man and woman. Its dwelling place is in the heavens with the Khus, the Khus. The Khus is your spiritual soul, okay? The Sekhem denotes the potency, erectile power or force used in fashioning one's own glorious new body for resurrection. I'm going to read that again. The Sekhem, power, spiritual manifestation of the vital life force in man and woman. We're talking about a vital life force. Its dwelling place is in the heavens with the Khus. Sekhem also denotes potency, the potency, erectile power or force used in fashioning one's own glorious new body for resurrection. And we touched upon that last night in Tantra. So if you want to know what this glorious light body is, then you might want to listen to yesterday's recording. Okay, and then we have number 9. We're getting to the last one, and this is also one of my favorites. I mean, they're all my favorites, but this one is part of the teachings that really caused me to enhance in my study. The Ren, the R-E-N, the name, the essential attribute to the personification of a being. Your Ren is your name. It's the essence that is called forth by your name. What's in the name? A rose by any other name would be just as sweet as what is said in literature, but that's not true here. Your Ren is your divine essence evoked when the utterance of it is released into the atmosphere. It is the essential attribute to the personification of a being. So some people might say, well, I can call people what I want or whatever, and people can call me what they want. They can. But you need to pay attention to the ones who call for your divinity with your name. The ones that cause you to elevate when your name is spoken. Marie is actually my middle name. But when my mom would call Veronica Marie, something in me would rise up, and that's why I use it now, right? She would say, Veronica Marie, right? Because there's a different essence in that and saying Veronica. When she say Veronica Marie, see, at the time when she started doing it and I started realizing that something in me was responding, I didn't have these words, but I have them now, and I understand it's an activating force. Your name is an activator of your essence. It's the essential attribute to the personification of a being. The name is sometimes found in Kemet, encircled by a rope of light called a cartouche. which is associated with the shin, which is the top part of the Ankh symbol. All right. So the rope of light is called a cartouche, and often your name is encapsulated in that. And that is also the top part of the Ankh. The second, I'm sorry, the cartouche represents a rope of sunlight or life force harnessed in the form of a circle. So, a beautiful spiritual practice could be while you're sitting doing not much, take a piece of paper, draw a cartouche, and write your name in it, right? And visualize a rope of sunlight or life force harnessed into that circle so that when you look at it, it becomes your own sigil of activation. Does that make sense? Does what I'm saying make sense? Y'all not tapping the screen or nothing. I should have way more than 1.9 thousand likes the way I've been giving some good information. Hey, Sean. So here's a spiritual practice according to Kemetic spirituality. Okay, get a piece of paper, draw a cartouche or a circle or the top part of an ankh, write your name in it. Visualize that cartouche or circle as a rope of sunlight and vital force. So when you look at your own ren, you begin to activate the vital force within you. Know what your name means. Know what's being called forth when someone is calling you. The cartouche, it is the most impregnable structure to protect one's name against attack. The name of the author is enclosed in a cartouche on the first page of this book. And I think I did read this before because I couldn't find the cartouche because it's not on the first page. But I surmised that it was here. You ever wonder why seals or circles and names are within them? Now you have kind of an idea. All right, and we have already gone over the Ab. Now let's look farther into BKA, which is the Ba and the Ka, shall we? And thank you for that gift. I appreciate it. I am Ryan. The Ba, which is your higher self or higher soul, is connected to the Ka, which is your self-image, your emotions, the body of emotions and desires through the conscience. All right, one more time. Your Ba is connected to your Ka. Your higher self is connected to your ego through the conscience, which is the AB. So if I were to draw this, I would have Ba, Ka, and the bridge is the AB, the conscience, the Ab. From here, the Ba controls the Kabit, which is the shadow dense subtle body and the physical body. Okay, so Ba, Ka, Ab. Then you have your other bodies. Okay, so it is from the Ab that your higher self controls your body, and your Kabit, which is your shadow dense subtle body. In Egypt, the process of impregnating a female is called BKA. This is the process that also must occur in spiritual evolution. Our Ka must be impregnated with the words of wisdom and intuition from Ba. I'm always teaching about this idea that your ego receives information from your higher self and it should go and carry it out through the body. Your ego in no way is to usurp power from your higher self and be acting on its own accord. It is acting separate from a power source, and the result is calamity. The ego will lead you into all kinds of positions and endeavors, seeking to be seen, seeking to be validated, seeking to be chosen. And all of it is going to be used for your evolution. But imagine if you were purifying your mind so you could receive the info from your ba rather than your ka. Imagine that. And that's the practice of the virtues that we've been talking about. In Egypt, the process of impregnating a female is called BKA. This is the process that must also occur in spiritual evolution. Your ka, or your ego, must be impregnated with words of wisdom and intuition from the ba. Your ego needs higher information, or else it's going to be looping on a lower plane, going back and forth, round and round in the same cycles. Different people, same experiences. Different situation, same reaction. That's the result of living by your ka, or your ego. You cannot become a vibrational match to anything in your ka, because it's your higher self that's giving you the information in order to cause you to ascend. And so you'll loop for a while. That loop is not stuck. That loop is a part of your evolution. And maybe you spend a longer time in that loop than some other people. And maybe some other people spend a shorter time than you do. In any event, we all must learn, and this is the spiritual practice, that this ka, this ego, must receive higher intelligence. This is the virgin birth of our spiritual life, which leads to the birth of ourselves as transformed beings, as gods. So sometimes we receive a hit and our mind picks it up. I want this. I want that, right? So to just go after it would be to be being led by your ka, or your ego. But if you pause with the desire, right, and plug into a higher power, a higher source, your higher self, then you might sit with that desire for a moment and see what other information streams in. See, your ka, your ego, is already pre-programmed by things you've experienced already. It's programmed by things you've learned already, things you've seen already. But your ba is indestructible. Your ego needs information to stream down. And the reason I'm using the downward expression is because the wisdom is high. And the loops of the ego is a lower vibration. It's not bad. It's a lower vibration. It begins to feel bad when you have to stay experiencing the same things over and over. That begins to feel bad, but by nature, it's actually good. It's opportunities for you to refine, to practice virtue, and to be enlightened, right? Is this making sense? I'm going to pause right there. I want to know, type yes if it's making sense. This is why you need a spiritual practice. This is why you must have discipline in your spiritual practice. You can't just wake up, go to the phone, and hit the ground running. You can't wake up and just call your loved one and begin plugging in there. You can't just hit the ground running. But even if you have to hit the ground running, let it be a particular state of being within yourself where you know, even though I'm moving around in this body, I am plugging into my body at the same time, right? So I'm not saying that you always have to be still, because this life, sometimes we got to hit the ground running. Sometimes things start coming at us before we can even get our good bearing. That is hopefully not the norm for you, right? So while you're moving within yourself, you have to have a certain space that you go to connect while you're moving. That's why in yoga, I no longer require complete silence, because I found that Only doing yoga in complete silence, only doing meditation in complete silence does not train my focus, right? It makes me comfortable. But when there's stuff going on in the background and stuff going on outside and the kids are talking and things like that, then I begin to cultivate a space within myself where I can practice wherever I'm at. It makes sense, yes. And especially for mothers out there, you know, I grew up in content creation with my children. I started on Facebook in 2010. The twins were just born and we were homeschooling. And I used to fret, like, how am I going to record this content? They're loud, they're crying, they're coming in the camera. Then when I started personal training, they start jumping on me in the camera, like all of these things, right? But that's why we have these spiritual practices, so that we learn how to infuse spirituality in our everyday existence, so that spirituality is not off over here. I go into my meditation room and that's when I be spiritual. I be spiritual outside too, when the agitations are going on and the mental modifications are going on. I learn how to find the meditative space within myself. Yes, CC? So my oldest is 22, my middle son is 18, and my twins, boy, girl, they're 15. And we have to remember that the temple is within, the church is within, the altar is within, the kingdom of heaven is within. Okay? So I'm not telling you what I don't know, I'm telling you what I've learned. Ashe? Okay. So let's continue. Let's continue. If we identify with our Ba as being one with the universal Ba, so now we have a higher self, and then we have a universal collective higher self. Okay? If we, that says if we, that means that you could think something else too. But here, if we identify with our Ba, does it say identify with your Ka? Your Ka is your ego. Your idea, your Ka is your identity. Your Ka is the way you want to be seen and not be seen. Your Ka is your self-image. Does it say if we identify with our self-image, our Ka? Does it say that? Type yes or no. Jordan, what's that sound?
That's the dryer.
Okay. Does it say identify with your Ka? Does it say if we identify with Ka, our self image, our mind, and our ego? Or does it say if we identify our Ba as being one with the universal Ba? One or two, Ka or Ba? Which one? And I want to know that y'all are listening. That's why I'm pausing like this. Because sometimes I can be teaching and your mind can be going here and there with the things going on in your environment. So I want to check in and make sure that y'all are listening. And it's especially when y'all stop tapping the screen. I don't know what is going on. Maybe y'all can't even hear me. Okay. The second one, if we identify, thank you, Ryan, if we identify with our Ba as being one with the universal Ba instead of our ego, the actions prescribed by our universal Ba will be in harmony with the spirit world and nature. I often express it like this. When your higher self, is consistent with the truths that you carry, universal truths, when your higher self is consistent with the truths that you carry, and these truths are universal truths, these truths are wisdom, then you exist and flow with universal cosmic energy. When you do not exist in universal truth, you are in dissonance. You're going in the opposite direction of universal flow and energy, right? And so we have it in Kemetic terms here as well. If we identify our Ba, higher self, as one with the universal Ba, instead of our ego, The actions prescribed by our Ba will be in harmony with the spirit world and nature. Do you want to be in harmony with the spirit world and nature? Or do you want to be in harmony with the way you see yourself, how you want to be seen, and how you think this world should be, what you think people should do, think, see, and where they should go? Or do you want to be plugged into spirit and nature? You have a choice. You have a choice to say, I refuse to allow this energy right here to penetrate my being because it's not in harmony with spirit and nature, right? It's not in harmony with spiritual and nature. Spirit and nature. So I don't want to direct a lot of my life force in that direction. There are people who don't want to understand you. Stop directing your energy that way. That's identifying with your ego. You got to relax and let spirit do spirit's work. If you see yourself, your higher self, as one with the divine, then you will operate and flow with spirit and nature. But if you keep going back and forth with people because you want to be seen a certain way, and let me take out the back and forth, because some of y'all don't go back and forth with people outside. You go back and forth with them in your head. You look at them and you be like, okay, but on the inside, you're going back and forth. You arguing. You got to stop that too, because this is an inside job as well. It's not just an outer one. Okay, sometimes you retain thought processes that don't serve you. That's why you got to realize what your body is, what your body is connected to, and what you are. Like sometimes people will ask you, who are you? And I always say this, yeah, that's ego related, and that changes, right? So that's why I never ask, who are you? Do you know what you are, though? Because that never changes. Do you know what you are? And do you know the nature of what you are? Not who you are. Because who you are is a mother, a friend, a sister, a woman, a non-binary, a stud, a femme, a trans, a this, a that. I'm not asking who you are, know who you are. I'm not asking you to identify more heavily with the Ka. I'm not asking you to plug in more to your ego. I'm asking you to realize that you have an ego, but when you move and how you see, you need to plug into your Ba. Do you understand the difference? Hey, Tomboy. Thank you. Do you understand the difference? I'm not asking you to plug more into and draw your line in the sand. I don't care what nobody thinks about me. I know my worth. I'm not talking about that. I'm beyond that. Don't choose people who don't choose you. I'm even beyond that. I'm in a space where that's irrelevant when I'm talking about all of this. I'm down on the level of the energy, the ethereal bodies, the soul, and spirit. That's where I'm coming from. And that's where I'm inviting you to as I go deeper within myself, because I too have spent vital life force on things to no avail. I've done it. We all have. Who here has not? Who here has not sent their life force out to some person, some situation, some conversation that was not for your highest good? Hey, King. Who here has not? If you have, say I have. Who has not been in arguments and contention with people? Who has not been fussing about how they are, or trying to prove how they are, or begging someone to see how they are? I have. Right? I have. But I am urging us to come out of that. There is a higher level existence. There are deeper depths and higher heights than doing that. Getting upset because someone didn't do this or that. Getting upset because someone didn't say this or that. Am I saying we shouldn't have boundaries? No, because your higher self is going to tell you that's for you, that's not. Your higher self can communicate that with you without you absorbing resentment. Your higher self can tell you, say no to that one because I'm showing you the lay of the land. Your higher self can say that, and you can do that without becoming, Your higher self can tell you, hey, this right here, don't go into this conversation. State simply what you need to state and allow it to be. You can do that in peace. Yes, pretty lady. Okay, so therefore, following one's intuition is taking advice from one's ba. We are not taking advice from our suspicious mind from the last person we dealt with. Okay? In the midst of everything else, we just read right here that the sacred task is to become godlike while still alive. To become godlike while still alive. How do we become godlike while still alive? We become. We release, we bring in, we tear down, we build up, we shift, we create worlds, we reorient worlds, we reorient ourselves in the world. We take off these glasses and we put on another pair. We take off erroneous perspectives and we put on universal truth. And the more we do this, the more godlike we become while still human. Why do you want to hang on to those old ways? Why do you want to go back and forth the same way? Right? So the thing to do is not say, oh yeah, I'm stopping. Because you're not going to stop. You still have the program within. Your ka is still leading. The answer is to get involved in your spiritual practice, which brings your ba and ka in proper relationship. So when you see your ba as part of the universal ba, you are taking advice from your ba, not your past experiences. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever met someone who was in a bad relationship previously, just came out really hurt? And they started telling you all the stuff that they will never do again. They used to enjoy that stuff, but now they've decided that they're not going to do that anymore. That's a person being led by their ka. You can see what part of the self a person is leading from by listening to what they're saying about it. I did that before. I'm not doing it again. My heart is tired. You need to heal your relationship between your ba and ka. It's become fractured. So the answer is not stop doing, don't do that anymore. I'll never do that. I'll never love that heart again. I'll never give that much again. I'll never give my heart to anyone. I'll never be open. I'll never. You're being led by your ka. You're not becoming more godlike like that. Now, you might have to stay in that loop for a little while until you get tired of it and realize that it's not liberating. It's boxing you in. So to heal that, you need to restore your relationship with your ba. That's part of why I'm teaching this. Because sometimes you think that you're going to heal when the person apologizes or takes accountability. Have you ever had a person apologize and it still didn't help? You thought it would, but it didn't. There was still an aftermath. There was still a reconciliation that needed to happen within you and also between you and the person, but something in you shifted. You know what shifted? Your relationship with your ba. You began to be led by your ka because you were hurting. Instead of turning to the higher power, the ba, and reoriented, you dug deeper into the ka and with your kabit, your body. So instead of ascending with the experience, you took it and you descended into a loop. Now, If you need to do that, that's on your life path to do it. This is not condemnation. This is not time to beat up on yourself. That would be living from Ka. Ka says, damn, I'm not good enough. Ka says, dang, I thought I was healing. I guess I wasn't. Ka says, I'm tired of this. But when you are connected to your Ba, you don't have those same experiences because you can't. It's a different source. It's a different resource. It's a different frequency. Through quiet contemplation and meditation, one's own Ba offers insight into the truth and will lead one to prosperity and fulfillment. You followed your Ka and you got led into destruction and spaces that you don't like. Okay. And if you keep following it and keep descending deeper into it, then the more fractured your relationship with your Ba becomes. And now we're moving away from prosperity and fulfillment. You might be doing great things, but you're not fulfilled. You're talking to people, but you're holding back because you're scared. You're struggling with vulnerability. You're not experiencing intimacy. Why is that? Because you allow your Ka to lead you. You don't speak your truth because you're scared. Your Ka is leading you. So you need to reconnect, reinvigorate your relationship with your Ba, with your higher self. Our true self is the deep consciousness within. This is the Kemetic Yoga book. Why am I showing you this? Because I've been telling you this for years, and some people still be, no, they said that about me, and da-da-da-da-da. No, your true self is the consciousness deep within. We're talking about a Ba. We're talking about Ab. We're not talking about Ka and Kabit. Ka, your ego, Kabit, your body. We're talking about the Ab and the Ba, the deep parts of you. Your true self is the consciousness deep within. Where is your true self? Type that, please. Because y'all fussing like some other stuff is your true self. You defending like some other stuff is your true self. You're getting upset and fighting and doing all manner of things because you think something else is your true self. Where is your true self? Answer me that. Riddle me that. Give me an answer. Where's your true self? Your true self is not, I know my worth and I'm going to act like it. That's not your true self. That's your Ka. That's more of it. It's deep within. It's your consciousness. Your consciousness. I said conscience, but I stand corrected. Consciousness. Consciousness is not your ego, your Ka. So when people don't see you the way you want to be seen, circulating, pretty lady. When you are seen in a way that you don't want to be seen, do you want to be associated with your Ka and get upset and start fussing, proving, or withdraw because you're upset? Or do you want to associate with your higher self, that is your consciousness, right? And realize that what this person is seeing is a byproduct of their own Ka. And we are allowed that because we all have it. Now, am I saying just let people be and believe what they want to? Yes, I am saying that. I'm also saying know who you are deeply so that when you self-express, you're not expressing from offense. You're not expressing from offense. When you express, I would like to tell you this or that. You're telling it because you're being led by your Ba. You're not telling it because you're upset. One time I can remember being in the store with a friend, and the friend was on the snack aisle just looking at all the snacks or whatever, and this friend was pre-diabetic. And she was trying to get her numbers down, and so she starts looking at the snacks and looking at the sugar and talking to me because, you know, I am a nutritional specialist. And so I was telling her, no, that's not good. That's too much sugar. This is why you don't want this or that or whatever. And she said something like, why does it taste so good then? I said, because you're used to it. You're used to eating an abundance of sugar. No, I'm not. I don't even eat sugar every day. I da 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 da. Ooh, the car got activated. That's what I'm talking about. Let me close the door real quick. She was mad. Even though the blood sugar numbers were showing that that was true. But something in her car got irritated with the truth, right? And if she wanted to identify with the Bob but still communicate that, she could say, you know, I'm really scared that I've ruined my body with this. And so I feel irritated to hear that. We're talking about some mature communication. We're talking about coming away from all this silent treatment and stuff and reading people and I said what I said and all of this. I'm beyond that. I'm teaching from a space of deep self-reflection and spirituality. Hey Kay. So when I talk about a tantric experience, I'm talking about all of this, right? Because if you don't have all of this in your orbit as a personal practice, right, you are going to create typical problems, have typical experiences, and think the thing is other people. It's other people. No, you are living from your ka, and this is what your ka creates. It's helpful, Cat? Good, good, good. Did I see that right, Cat? Yeah. This is what your ka creates. It creates calamity. Hey, Moon, welcome back. Living from your ka, I can't express this enough. It's a sure way to problematic living and problems with other people. All right, let's continue. Our true self is the consciousness deep within. Our physical nature is only a manifestation of our spirit. It is our spirit which gives life to the body, the senses, the mind processes, and therefore our body, intellect, mind, and senses are a reflection of the degree of ignorance or wisdom of the self which we possess in our consciousness. I'm going to read that one more time. Our true self, breathe this in, hey Sinead. Our true self is the consciousness deep within. It's the person you are now? No. It's the person you were last year? No. Your true self is not the self that's going, I'm not that same person. That's not even your true self. It's your consciousness. Your consciousness, your ba exists even without a ka, without a mind. I'm trying to put you back into good relationship with the deepest part of yourself because you've come up to the surface and you've lived there for so long that you think when people are rejecting ideas, and y'all know I talk about this a lot, you think when people are rejecting ideas, they're rejecting you. That's how long you've been on the surface, right? You've been on the surface so much that you think people's opinions, right, are of the utmost importance and you want to change them. That's a sign that you've been living on the surface of yourself for far too long. When you fear judgment, so you don't want to talk because you don't want to be judged. You're just looking for a space not to be judged. You've been living on the surface of yourself for too long. That you have come away from the truth. And the truth is your higher self, your consciousness is the true self. That's where the kingdom of heaven resides. But you out here fussing about this up here when you're all the way down here. I'm asking you to go within, right? Go within and share outside. But don't be, see, you are, let me tell you this, you are birth for spiritual depth. You are. But what happens is when nobody gives you these teachings or you don't come upon them, instead of living at the depth, like let's say a mermaid or a submarine depth, you up here, if you imagine the ocean, you are in the part where only your ankles go in the water. Hey, Keitha. And your lungs are made for depth, but you keep sucking in land air. Thank you, Keitha. You've been on the surface for so long, you're not even breathing the way that you need to breathe because you've been on the surface of the self for so long. But the self is calling you down and in so you can breathe properly. That's where your nervous system begins to regulate. It doesn't regulate up here by only getting around positive vibes only and only people who clap when I succeed. No, that's more of the surface. You're still not going to be able to breathe. Right. So, how you're going to breathe is you descend, right, into your natural flora and fauna, into your natural environment of spirit. That is your natural climate and environment, not this up here. Looking out for someone to like you, choose you. I just want to be loved. I know that's where you were when you were little and you were growing up and you had to survive. So you had to stay up here looking for any line, any attention, any crumb, any care, because that was your lifeline. But now I'm telling you, right, that was never your place of existence. It's just that nobody taught you that you actually exist better in this climate. I was born in New Orleans. I'm tropical, okay? I thrive in the sun, in the humidity. Thank you. That's the best environment for me. My body feels free and limber. That's the best environment for me. When I go up into Arctic cold, I ache. I get tight. I have to convince myself that I'm okay. I have to restructure my brain, and that's necessary, yes, but that's not my natural environment. Similarly, being on the surface of yourself is not your natural environment. Our physical nature is only a manifestation of our spirit, okay? So let me go back into these terms so you could see this right here. Your ba projects, your higher self projects and keeps together your body. It's an aggregate of the elements, earth, air, water, fire. Okay, your ba projects a body and holds the matter of it together. It's your consciousness. It's what causes your cells to function. Okay, does that make sense? Your ba projects out and onto the body, and your ba keeps the body together. So your body in this way is a manifestation of your ba. Let's continue. It is our spirit that gives life to the body. Your ego doesn't give you life. Your ba gives you life, your consciousness. It gives life to your senses. It gives life to your mind processes. Therefore, our body, intellect, what you know, your physical body, what you know, your mind, your thinking organ, and senses are a reflection of the degree of ignorance or wisdom of the self that we possess. Does that make sense? Our body, the way we treat it, our intellect, how we move, our thought processes, how we process, is a reflection of whether or not we are in ignorance or wisdom concerning the self. You can hear the ignorance, right? And when I say ignorance, I'm not talking about that low vibration. Oh, that's so ignorant. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the unknown, when people don't know something. You can hear ignorance coming forward, ignorance of self coming forward when people are talking. They say things like this: they made me feel so small. How was I supposed to feel? That's a person who is dwelling in ignorance of their true self. They say something like, I have to be like this. I can't help it. Ignorance of the true self. That person is not a reflection of me. I'm not like that. I don't even see it. That's a reflection of the ignorance of self. The things I mentioned earlier. I'm never going to love again. I'm never going to do this again because somebody hurt me. Reflecting ignorance of self. You are reflecting things and you don't even know it. And you know how you know that you're doing that? When someone says something about it, you get upset. You begin to protect. That's what the ka does. It protects the self because it's so fragile. Don't say that about me. Don't say that about me. That is not who I am. You don't know who I am. You don't know me. It gets upset, bothered, contracted, right? Reflecting an ignorance of self. We all have various layers and levels of ignorance. I'm not saying that so you can feel better about it. I'm saying that so that you can understand that we all have work to do. Because some people come to my lives and they say yes and amen and they think they have all of this. But as soon as they're talking, I could hear that they don't have it. And then they begin to want to hide what they're saying so I don't hear it. But I still hear that too, right? Because you cannot escape from your own reflection. This is not about me being higher than or more than, and you don't want me to see, because this happens all the time and has happened for years. It's not that. I'm your reflection. I'm an in lakesh alakin of you. I'm another you, and you are another me. So when you look at me, right, and when you are seen by me, the temptation of the ka is to brace. But when you begin to identify with your ba, you begin to release that and go, let me see what's here for me. Let me see what's here for me. You can hear a person in ignorance of self when they're villainizing someone else. That person this, and they ain't no good, and they ain't shit, and they ain't this, and they ain't what they said they are, and they ain't, and that you could hear the ignorance of self coming out. I'm telling you, you could just look around and hear it. But you can also hear the wisdom coming out, because wisdom is not just words, because some people got right words, but they still harbor the same ignorance within. They just learned some words to make it sound a particular way. But you can hear wisdom because the person is not agitated in it. Now, that doesn't mean they're not in passion, because passion will have you be very flamboyant. That's passion. What I'm talking about is the irritation of the ka. The ka irritation sounds like offense. And the person will be saying something like, I'm not offended. I'm just saying it has a vibration. Okay. This is why in your relationships, you can start having a conversation. You can ask a question. And then the person will be like, why are you asking me that? And instead of saying, well, I was asking you that because of blah, 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 you go, what you mean? I just asked you a question. The ka all in it. Have you ever experienced that? A person asks you a question and it seems a little off, and you wonder, like, what made them ask me that? And you ask them, what made you ask me that? And they be like, what you mean? What made, I'm asking because I want to know. And all of this start going on. You could see the level of ignorance of self. As opposed to someone who is connected with self, they would say, well, okay, what I was thinking was I was having this thought, and then that thought came about, and then I decided to ask. But see, the problem in that is some people communicate under a veil. Okay, they communicate from under a veil, and they don't want to make their true intention known because they feel shame. So shame begins to be the veil. Let me give you an example. Have you ever gone through somebody's phone, or And let's just take the blinders off. I'm talking about you went through their phone. Don't be saying I was just going to check a number and I saw. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you picked up the phone and your intent was to find something. Have you ever done that? Say yes if you have ever done that. I'm going to wait because I want some radical honesty here and I want some screen tapping, right? Absolutely. So then you find something, but now you don't want to say that you did that. So instead of saying, hey, look, I was feeling away and I went through your phone and I saw A, B, and C, and I would like to talk about that. That's not what you do. You start asking sideways questions like, so you talked to Mary recently? You talked to John and Jeffrey lately? And then the person say no, but you just saw that they did. So now you really can't come out of your car now because you're gonna be in real shame or something. So you have to go, so you telling me you ain't even one time they didn't call you, you didn't kind of say hi or nothing like that, and then the person goes, why are you asking me this? Where's this coming from? I'm just asking. Or the infamous, I had a dream. I had a dream that you were sitting in the coffee shop with Mary Ann. You didn't have a dream. You went through the phone. But you try to spiritualize stuff. You are not Martin Luther King. You did not have a dream. Tell the truth. And if there was a devil, shame him. Okay, so the person might ask, where's that coming from? Only the honest people answer here, because if you're not honest and you don't know what I'm talking about, this ain't for you. I'm here for the people that done this in their life, and I have went full on clairvoyant, clairaudient. I heard in the spirit you saying this exact phrase, and then you say it verbatim, and then the person kind of be like, oh, they went through my phone. Did you go through my phone? No, I'm telling you, spirit gave it to me. No, the tarot reader gave it to me. We be doing a lot. Stop it. Just stop. That's your car, and your car is ignorant of self. It's time for you to come out of avoidance of how you actually behave. It's time for you to come out of avoidance of truth and learn how to have some real upfront conversations. You need to learn, okay? If you want to be in a spiritual practice, it's telling of your ignorance or wisdom. We all been there, right? We all been there. But here's another step, King. Let's go even further than that. If there is something that is causing you to go through the phone, stop before you even let it manifest into an urge and start talking about that. I feel insecure. I am starting to feel like I don't trust you and I really want to, and we really, really need to talk about that. Hey, Mystique. I'm starting to feel uncomfortable about the way our relationship is going, and I am feeling disconnected, and I fear that you might be connected with someone else. Can we have a real conversation about this? It's time for that, right? It's time for that. It's time for that. Okay, let's continue. In order to find the ultimate truth, listen, in order to find the ultimate truth, we must go beyond our mind. I just told you what the mind will do. Hey, Eric. The mind will sit there and have you feeling justified about some ignorant behavior. It will have you calling your Ba, your higher self, your suspicion. Let's talk about that real quick. I've done this teaching throughout the years, so if you've been rolling with me, rocking for a long while, you've heard this before. It's in the Kemetic wisdom also. Your intuition is not your suspicion. I don't care how you slice and dice it, and I don't care if you right 50 times and wrong 78 times. It's still not the same. Some people are living by their suspicion. I knew something was going on because I experienced that before. And I know when people start doing this, and I be watching, I just be observing patterns. And that's your suspicion. And let me tell you what your suspicion is going to lead you into: calamity. It's not going to lead you into wisdom. It's going to lead you into suppressing and watching stuff and creating suffering within yourself first and other people. That's what your suspicion will lead you to. It's not spiritual. Even if it's right, it's still not spiritual. Even if it's right, the source is low vibration. So if you really want to come up, you need to come away from identifying with that suspicion and needing for it to be right or trying to prove it wrong. Sometimes you say you're looking for something because you want to prove that you were wrong, because you didn't want to be right. Your suspicion creates suffering within you, but your intuition will stop you before you get to that suspicious stage. Hey, Hugh. Your intuition will stop you before you get to that suspicion stage. You must go beyond your mind. Your suspicion is a part of your ka. You must go beyond it. I've been telling you that for years. I'm reading it out the book. Are you ready to receive it? Or you still need a few more years to live out of your ka? You still need a few more years. That's cool, right? Because some people have to loop like that. Hey, T, listen. To find the ultimate truth, we must go beyond our mind. You're so identified with your mind. I can't see. I don't think. That's not how I see things. People who fuss like that are identifying with their mind, with their ka. Thank you. You must go beyond your senses. You must go beyond your body. Let's talk about love real quick. Because if you are going to reach ultimate truth, you need to go beyond your mind, senses, and body. Let's talk about love. Love is more than what you think it is. Love is more than people doing particular things. Love is more than you feeling particular things. Love is more than proximity. It's more. But the question is, how do you know love if you're going beyond the mind, the senses, and the body? Now, let me draw a distinction, because some people try to spiritualize lack of connection by saying, just know I love you. Then when you ask them what does it mean, they don't even know. They're just spiritualizing lack of connection. I don't call you, but just know I love you and I be thinking about you. What does that mean? Tell me what it means. Okay? Because we just be regurgitating something. But we must go beyond the mind, senses, and body. Do you even think on that plane? Do you even go to that depth to even know love beyond even what we're talking about? I think you should. Because love is within where the ultimate truth is, with the Ba. But a lot of people connect in love on the Ka. And what happens is, because of this, they're looking at commonality. Yeah. What we have in common. Oh, we have this in common. They're looking at need. I need this, you need this. Oh, we need this. We're the same. We need. Some people focus on desire. All this is Ka. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's a poor foundation to a strong relationship. Oh, I choose you and I don't choose anyone else. It's just you. And I choose you in spite of. Don't come at me with that Ka love, please. I choose you in spite of your flaws. What in the world is that? That means you see it and you be fixated on it, but you choose to turn your head from it, and you want someone to feel, hey, Victory, you want someone to feel chosen and beautiful and special, and you didn't say something demeaning like that. I don't know. I'm just, Let me read from the Kemetic Wisdom, because y'all don't be mad at the Kemetic Wisdom. So let me read it from here. Okay. We must go beyond all mental images of names and forms to which we are accustomed by developing our intuition, which is Ba. I want someone who doesn't need me, okay? So you need them to not need you. Peace, peace, peace. All right. Hey, Ja. Through intuition only, through your Ba only, will we discover who we really are and our purpose of existence. This is the message above the temples to the effect of know thyself. Know thyself. Know thyself. We could go far with that, Ryan, but I know that's not the topic of this segment. I just want. I want. Thank you, Victory. I appreciate that. The spirit is distinct from the body. If the individual Ba identifies with the other parts of the spirit, it will forget that it is connected to the universal Ba. It will forget that it is whole already. It will forget that it is everything already. It will forget and start trying to get it somewhere else and looking outside somewhere else and wanting, right? There's nothing wrong with having a desire, right? There's nothing wrong with that. We need that to manifest. But we must remember what we are first so that the wanting will sync with something deeper than the mind, the senses, and the body. It will sync with something deeper. And then one day we won't have to verbalize, well, I don't want anyone to need me. And I don't want anyone to want me. And I don't want anyone to choose me. We're just existing in a flow of universal truth, of universal connectedness that is beyond the body, the mind, and the senses, and we are connecting there. And when you connect there, you begin to see that all other things just kind of fade away, right? They do, they do. Let's continue. Through intuition only will we discover who we really are and our purpose for existence. This is the message above the temples to the effect, know thyself. The spirit is distinct from the body. If the individual Ba, your higher self, identifies with other parts of the spirit, like the Ka and the Kabit, it will forget that it is connected to the universal Ba. If it forgets and is overcome with worldly desires and ignorance, it will live a life of mortality, thinking it will die when the body dies. Eruhood is being connected to all parts of the spirit all the time by remembering that you are not only connected to the universal Ba, but that you are the universal Ba deep inside. If you know that you are the, ride with me for a moment, Ryan, ride with me for a moment. Jump in the car. If you know that you are universal Ba, and you know that you are already everything all at one time, then there is no want because you exist whole already. But there exists desire. I desire to share with others, right? I desire to share with others. I desire to commune with others. I desire to become one with others. So then you don't have to worry about not wanting who needs you. You don't even have to worry about that, right? Because it's not even a choice in there, right? Yes, you can see the book. It's Egyptian yoga, the philosophy of enlightenment. So, the reason I'm talking about this is number one, I'm so passionate about it in my own life, but this has been life changing for me. And every time I return to this book, I deepen, I deepen, I deepen. And on October 14th and 15th, we experienced a timeline collapse, right? And I began to see life so different. And I began to desire, right, spirituality in a way that I never have. And some of you too. Yeah. The golden intersection of timelines is what it was called. So many of you are experiencing this too. You're experiencing this call to the deeper parts of self, right? And the deeper parts are like pulling you down from the surface. There's more. There's more to connection than this. There's more to life than this. There's more to experience than this. There's more to spirituality than this. There's more to sexuality than this. There is more to conversation than this. There is more. Yes. Hallelujah. There's more. And we got to follow the more, right? That's why the old just is, it's just not useful anymore, right? Because what is useful is your focus. What is appealing is your focus. And anything that isn't your focus, right? And there are things that are not that, but that's not your focus. So then you don't have to worry about that. You just flow in the direction of the desire. There's more. Did you feel that? Right? You're welcome. Did you feel that pull when I was doing this? It's like coming from the center of your being, pulling you from up here with people, having trivial spats, pettiness, sarcasm, getting upset by trivial things, getting bothered by an opinion. And it's like, nah, come here. That's more. You know? Okay, so listen. I want to read this again. Eruhood is being connected to all parts of the spirit all the time by remembering that you are not only connected to the universal Ba through your higher self, but you are universal Ba. You are one with it. Think about the ocean, okay? Here's the analogy. There's the ocean and there's the drop of water. When the drop of water is in the ocean, it is not a drop of water, it's a continuum of the ocean. It is the ocean. When we take it out, we look at it as a drop, but it is the content of the ocean, because when you put it back in, it is one with the ocean. It doesn't retain its drop form and saying, no, I'm a drop. I'm not part of the ocean. No. And your Ba is the same way. You're a spark of the universal ocean of Ba. You are. That's why I be asking, what are you? Not who are you? You can answer who you are for the sake of communicating with other people. That's useful. But in your deep self-analysis and self-image and self-reflection, are you seeing this truth? Or are you seeing, I'm broken, I don't have this, I'm messed up, I'm not enough, I'm a failure, I should be here and I'm not, and nobody wants me, and they're not going to want me if, and I don't want anyone to see, and I don't want anyone to think. Do you live a fragmented existence on the inside? You got to ask yourself that, because let's be honest, we are all on levels of that. We all are. And if you sit here and tell me you're not, you're just not in this moment, and I shake. But I guarantee you, in another moment, you will sit there and question your whole reality, because the goal is evolution, to bring the parts that are fragmented back into whole. I can remember sitting in therapy and my therapist asking me, am I a confident person? I said, overall, I would say yes. But there are some areas where I'm not confident at all. And during that time, it was motherhood. Am I giving them enough? Am we homeschool? Have I given them enough? Was my time off detrimental to them? Am I bridging the gap? Do they have enough experiences? I don't feel like I did enough. I don't feel like I did enough. That's where I was dwelling a lot of times, and I had to evolve out of it over time. It didn't happen all at once. I had to think about the times that I didn't handle this well, and I didn't hear here, and I reacted there, and they walked away like this here, and I had to look at all of that, right, and pull my fragmented self back together again from my own internal judgment of, I don't know if I'm a good mother. That's what who you are will bring. It will bring a deep self-judgment. A good mother, a bad mother, a good person. You say stuff like, that doesn't make me a bad person just because I blah, blah, blah. Right? Because in your ka, you have to look at everything as a good this and a bad that, or an okay that. And then you say things like this. You can also hear when a person is speaking from their ka, when they say stuff like, nobody's perfect. Your ba is perfection. And if you believe that you do not have perfection within your being that you can tap into, then you are in ignorance of self. Because your ba is perfection. Your ba is one with universal ba. Your ka, your ego, is not where you need to be living from anyway. So heavily identifying with, well, I'm not perfect and people are not perfect. People say this so often. And it tells me that they don't have an awareness of the ba. Okay? I'm ending. To attain this state of mind is to achieve Christhood. Very true. You have to accept, to evolve, replace emotional triggers. Yes. Christhood, Eruhood, cosmic consciousness, the kingdom of heaven, moksha, nirvana, enlightenment. This is what it all leads to. The universal ba and the individual ba form a circuit where energy is given and returned to the source in an endless cycle. To be consciously connected with this, our true essence, is the goal, the epitome of our existence, and the reason for it. Not only is it the epitome of our existence, it's the reason for it. So again, does it serve you to sit around in this ka mess? Does it really serve you? When I say you, I'm talking about your ba. And also your entire being. Your light body, the one that exists after death, we talked about that last night. Your physical body, all of that does well to be connected with your ba. That's life force energy. That's spiritual food in an endless cycle. You're draining yourself because you live from your ka. You help people from your ka. You don't want them to think that you're not listening or that you don't want to be there because they were there for you. So you sit there and you get drained. You say yes more than you need to. You say no more than you need to. You let your past block you in. You let your past cause you to be indiscriminate. You just go back and forth in the ka. But the stream that never runs dry is the connection between your individual ba and the universal ba. There's a scripture that says there is a stream, there's a river whose streams make glad the city of our God. That's the stream you need to be tapping into. To be consciously connected with this, our true essence, is the goal, the epitome of our existence, and the reason for it. Humans partake of both qualities of spirit and those of matter. To master both, to master both is the highest good. So now we got to talk about this kabit, the body, because you think that you can feed your body trash and still be living a spiritual existence that is for your highest good. Yes, I'll read it again. To be consciously connected with this, our true essence, is the goal, the epitome of our existence and reason for it. Humans partake of both qualities of the spirit and those of matter. To master both is termed highest good. All humans can potentially become masters of the universe by becoming one with the universe. You must inhabit spirit and body. You must inhabit spirit and body, not one or the other. Both. It says to master both is called highest good. So now when you're talking about things working according to your highest good, it's because you are operating from mastery of both your spirit and your body. All the selves, okay? So you're not feeding your body trash and drinking water such that you're like a desert inside. You're getting your nutrients in. And I don't want to really hear about, hey, thank you, the real. I don't really want to hear about what you don't like. Find what you do like. There's so much food, so much to drink that exists. You don't even need to fixate on, I don't like water. Go put some lime in it or something. Go put some lemon in it. Put some watermelon in it. Go put some cucumber in it. But stop, I don't like water. Because water, what is more spiritual? What liquid is more spiritual than water? When a great amount of the earth and your body is composed of it. Thank you. You're not eating fruit. Find some fruit you like. I don't like vegetables. Find some. It's a vibration. At some point, you're going to have to rise beyond this body, because we just talked about that. My taste buds don't like this. If you're allergic to it, I get it. Don't do that. Listen to your body. But I'm talking about these people that be like, I don't like vegetables. I don't like water. I don't like fruit. We program this body by food. In fact, in yoga, in Indian yoga, the body is called a food sheath. Why? Because it is the breakdown of the food that creates the body. Hey, Eric. You must master both. That's called highest good. I'm going to stop right there. Ashe. Do I have an ashe? Type ashe if this message spoke to you and activated something within. I'm going to put this on YouTube eventually once it's processed. Ashe. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. How do you feel? How do you feel right now? Hey, Roz. Hey, Mystique. Ashe. How are you feeling right now? Type a word in. It feels excellent inside. You feel good. You feel peace. You feel good. Do you feel clear? You got another layer to uncover, Ashe. You feel blissfully. Yes. Do you feel clear? Do you feel like an open channel? Yeah. Go drink some water. Speak to the water. You feel capable. Ashe, Victory. Victory Gardens. Peaceful. Yeah. Ashe. I got an ashe. I feel cleansed. I feel aligned. I feel grounded. I love that. I feel capable. I feel capable. Yes. All right. So let us be committed to our own spiritual practice today. So this is what I want to let you know. Last night we did the teachings on Tantra, if you were here. And today, this is very much part of Tantric living, I want you to know. I'm going to form a Tantric community We're going to meet once a month to start off with at the end of every 28-day cycle. We're going to learn some timekeeping to help us sync with nature and come out of unnatural time. That's the first thing. How to really move about with that within our inner being as a spiritual practice. We're going to have tantric conversations. I'm going to introduce some practices. And this is for people who really want to live a spiritual life. Tantra is not something to know, it's not something to experience one time, it's not just sexually, it's an entire way of being. I'm going to form a community. It's going to be a subscription community because I've learned enough. I explained this last night that I want your participation and your presence. I want your will and desire in that group. That's the mission and the vision for it. Okay. I want to share with you. Okay. You are there, Ashe. So keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be posting about it in my bulletin board. I found that bulletin board to be a great method of communication to the people who have chosen to come closer. There's the general audience, the people who interact on the comment section, and the bulletin board allows you to take another step closer so I can communicate directly. I will let you know where that's going to be and where you can jump in. But I think it's time for us to live and even, I had to stop for that one. Many things. Yes, many things. Many, many things. That was nice. I felt like the Pharaoh. All right, so that's coming up. Last night, I found an app that will help me easily do my audiobooks. I'm really excited about that. And I'll continue to work on this last book. I keep adding more to it, and I'm not even mad about it because I think it's necessary. It's called Esoteric Shadow Work. Mystique, mystique, mystique. Yes, very prophetic. That enhanced my prophetic nature. I felt good about that gift. All right, y'all. Well, have a good day, and I'll see y'all soon. Let me make sure before I go that I follow y'all back. And y'all make sure you join my bulletin board. Okay, I think I followed everyone. Victory Gardens, I got you.